What's going on, YouTube? It's a beautiful day here in sunny Florida this morning. Thought I'll share with you guys another video. Uh, this is Big Mac coming at you. Big shout out to Big Face Trucker, SoCal, Kenny Elizabeth Long, the Truckers Coach, to name a few. This is me paying it forward, just trying to give a little knowledge from what my personal experiences have culminated in my intellect to being useful information. Hopefully you find my opinions to be useful as well. Today we'll talk about retirement, something that no one really talks about on the internet or anywhere really, to my satisfaction. It is like the elephant in the room. Is my new favorite Dr. Hansen likes to put out there doing his examination, doing his DOT examinations down here in sunny Florida, that no one really talks about it. Well, we're going to talk about today. A lot of you have heard of Dave Ramsey. I'm a big advocate of his. 13 or 15 years ago, it was pretty much the go-to guy for learning how to become debt-free, which I did. I had paid off my own home, cars, paid off student loans. I had one credit card, $500, just for being able to rent a vehicle or buy an airplane ticket, if need be. Let me first say that there's a lot of information out there for those of you who use your debit cards. You shouldn't. You should not use your debit cards for anything, especially for ATM withdrawals. There are a lot of crooked companies nowadays, more so than in the past, that can take your information and run it. And the last thing you want to do is have your checking account depleted before you can get that money back in there, depending on what bank you have. Some of them will take 5 days or 3 days to put your money back. And as you all know, not all of us have the luxury of having enough money, or enough ways to take care of things if someone takes our money like that. So, beside that point, let me just say that Dave Ramsey, I have nothing against him at this point, but his model of doing things is now the exact opposite, the anti-equation, per se, for being an owner-operator, which is what I am since last year in October. And bear in mind, this discussion about retirement is for owner-operators specifically. There are a lot of ways to make it to the end of the rainbow: annuities, government pensions, other retirement venues. There's a lot of things out there, and I am not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not a financial guru. Don't claim to be a financial guru. What I am talking to you about is retirement and the ability to be solvent when you retire, which is most important. Now, for you company drivers, which we'll talk about a little bit on company drivers, because you guys are the most susceptible to the rhetoric of company owners, who will tell you that your little 401k, they'll match dollar to dollar is some type of incentive for you to put in 25, 30 years of your life in with that company. It's not. Okay, when it's all said and done, and you're sitting on, let's say, $250,000 or $300,000, $400,000, it's not enough. The cost of living for you is most likely between $30,000 and $50,000. That's like just to keep yourself solvent, depending on which part of the country you live on. Yes, there are parts of the country where $50,000 is like living off of $28,000 because it's that expensive. Whereas, you got some parts of the country like in Mississippi and Alabama where $50,000 is like living like a king. So, I mean, it depends on where you live, first of all, and it depends on your cost of living, your overhead. I mean, if you're someone who's already living in a unincorporated area, has invested in solar power, has their own septic tank, propane, ability to be self-sufficient, then you're already halfway there to where when you retire, you don't have to worry about someone giving you a utility bill in an incorporated city for $800 for your heat for that month when you're supposed to be getting a bill for $400. You don't have to worry about little hiccups like that and wherever you live. If you live in a corporate city and you don't want to move, I completely understand. That's your family. That's where you live in. But you have to realize that anything that's incorporated has a structure where you are the last one to know when there's going to be increases in costs. That you have no say so in those discussions other than to vote someone else in or vote someone out. So you're going to have to realize that as an owner-operator, first of all, you have to create your own retirement. And that means you have to know your number, your magic number. What does that mean? Well, your magic number is the number you need to survive on per month once you retire. Mine is $3,200. I get that number because my Social Security is already telling me that I've worked hard enough already where I can get $1,200 a month from my Social Security. Now, 20 years from now, I don't know if that's going to be the same. I'm sure it'll increase, maybe to $1,800 or $2,000 some dollars a month. But for right now, you have to work on numbers on today's standard rates. Okay. The reason why you do that is that every time, every quarter, our economy fluctuates. You have to change your numbers. But what are they are right now? If you retired right now, what would they need to be at is the only thing you can really work on, because that's reality. You can't go on and say that it's going to be this, it's going to be that. If it was today, what would you need to be saving? And that's what you need. Your goal always has to be on today's market, not what some crystal ball future market, haphazard, hopeful type of scenario might be. Because again, that's not reality. It's a guessing game. So what you want to do here to get, at least for me, to get that extra $2,000 a month, you need to save $1 million inside of 20 to 25 years. That's a lot of money. A lot of you saying that's crazy. You can't do it. Okay, well, if you save $50,000 a year, you can do it. Now, how can you save $50,000 a year? Well, you got 4 quarters in a year, right? Out of each 4 quarters, you get 3 months. So you're looking at around $13,000 and change per each quarter will get you close to 50 grand. Okay, a little over actually. So be like 12,000 something will get you there. Okay, And you take that number and you look at what it costs you per month, and you're looking somewhere between $3,000 to $4,000 a month you're going to have to save. So the days of you saving $500 or $1,500 a month and putting your savings, that's not going to work out. You can't, you have to change your thinking on that. And as an owner operator, if you're not making between $15,000 and $25,000 a month, then I really question on what you're doing behind that wheel. Now, if you're one of these guys that works really hard for 14 days and takes 14 days off, or one of these guys that really have family issues where they have to be home every weekend and take 2 days off every week, and again they work very hard during the week, but they won't take those 2 days off. Here's the problem that I have with that, and the industry shows that people that do that are least likely to have the success they're wanting out of their trucking career. And that is that those days you're taking off, if you're taking off every weekend, you're talking about 6 to 8 days a month, depending on the month. If you're doing that, then in 6 to 8 days, you can ask any owner operator out here. They'll tell you can make anywhere between $4,000 and $8,000. Well, there's your savings right there. That's the money you needed just to put in the bank, and now you have the rest of the month to take care of other things, your bills, putting money back into your business, making sure your maintenance account. If you don't have one, you need to have a maintenance account, whether it be on paper or in some type of another account. You need to make sure you have money for the type of repairs you have to do. So you have to run you may have to run your business to protect itself. I like to think that everyone out here realizes that for every power unit you own or are buying financing to own, you need to have somewhere around $20,000 in savings for it. Meaning that, God forbid, your insurance finally runs out on the truck and your engine conks out, but the truck is still good, so you want to put a new engine in. You have the money. At that point, you have the money to do so. That's why that $20,000 is very important. Not only that, is that when you hire someone to work for or drive one of your trucks, then if you go that route in your business, then you have to realize they're never going to take care of your equipment as good as you do. It's just more of a realistic attitude to think of it like that, because you sure eventually or somewhere out there's someone that will take care of your equipment as good as you. I'm quite sure there's somebody out there that might do that, but we have to go on. We have to deal with the laws of probability. We have to deal with reality, and in reality, a lot of people, they don't want to stop to take their PMs on time. They don't want to do anything. They'll say they'll do it, but they don't. And the end result, what they will do is they'll run their truck for their convenience, and they'll get home, when they need to, and then when they need to pay bills, they'll run it, But they, if it comes to doing a PM or picking up this load that they need the cash for, they're going to take the load and screw the PM. Whereas as an owner operator, you're going to take that PM because if you damage that engine in the long run, you're going to be sitting out for weeks on end while they put a new one in, and there's no guarantee um, that they will your insurance will take care of it if they find out that you haven't had your PMs done on time. So there's a lot of um, uh, minutia in those regards. But let's get back to the retirement. Okay, if you do not uh, save that money or have any money saved up, um, then once again you're dealing with some type of 401k. Even if you invest that money in E. Edwards, $250,000 into some type of hedge fund, or some type of annuity, or go through E-Trade or some other brokerage, you're still putting your money at risk. There's no guarantee um, that's going to produce anything more um, for you that would make your retirement viable. That's the thing. Is there is no guarantee, and there's no trust. There shouldn't be any. What I mean by that, don't trust anyone. Anyone. Capitalism, by definition, if you had to define it in one word, through its many fundamental axioms, that it would be exploitation. And on that basis, you look at our banking system, our financial system. The reason why there is a insurance on protecting our money is because banks do not disclose their records accurately. They have shameful tactics, and you only have to look at our history, our immediate history. You don't have to go into our past history, but our immediate history, to see how true that is. So I'm not advising anyone on where to put your money. I'm only saying to do due diligence in saving your money, so that you have enough. So whenever you do decide to put it somewhere where you can try to find a place that will give you up to 2%, at this point that would be the highest that I have ever seen. And if anyone is watching this video and knows a place that pays more than 2%, I would love to do some research on that place and make sure it's on the up and up. But most places right now, 1% is even hard to get, and that's for money market accounts. So I have 1% right now with Capital One. I know E. Edwards does a little bit better, but again, E. Edwards, you got to pay fees. You got to deal with any type of you deal with someone that's handling your money. You have to pay them to manage it, and the last thing you need is another mouth to feed, per se. So that's really the whole gist of it. That for your retirement, you're going to need to, again, save that money, know your numbers. Okay, you're gonna have to realize that $250,000, $300-some thousand in a 30-year 401k that you saved up is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. That's going to be either you're going to live well for 6 years, or you're going to take that money and try to invest in something else and try to make a go at it that way. And if you do that, then yeah, sure. But if your goal is that you're too old to drive and you don't really care to do much else besides something that's not strenuous on you, then you need to think of retirement as a permanent solution where you have enough money coming in that you can live in your house. And God forbid, if no one knows it, I'm going to tell you, nursing homes stink badly. Okay? You walk 20 feet into the most prestigious nursing home, and before 20 feet of hitting that door, You're going to get that wet leather glove smack in the face smell of urine and feces right up your nostrils. Okay? When you get up in there, you're going to see, you don't want to be the guy in a nursing home sitting on a couch with some other guy with a broken catheter leaking stuff all over the couch you're sitting on. You don't want to be that guy. Okay? Nursing homes are disgusting. They're disgusting. I don't care how pretty they try to make them up. I don't care how pretty they try to spruce them up. Once your family stops coming every week, every 2 weeks, every once a month, years roll by, you're in a nursing home, they come by only on your holidays and the birthdays, that's when things start come up missing. Your wedding rings, jewelry, anything you had of value starts to come up missing. And I'm not going to say this is for everyone. This is my personal experiences. Okay, what happened to my mother? This happened to her. To another friend I know whose parents were in a nursing home, happened to them too. So that's only two out of thousands of other examples. But when you go to read on the complaints of these nursing homes, there are a lot of people that say the same thing. So that's where that information is coming from. If you're questioning my opinion on that, is it being true or not, go do your research and look it up yourself. But the thing is that for most of us Americans, that's the biggest option we have, is to go live in a nursing home or to some type of assisted living. Now, assisted living is a pretty good idea, but you have to get a good one. And of course, I'm actually in the best state that deals with assisted living. But again, you can't have a bad one where they don't take care of you, they take your money, and they don't do right by you. You have to have ones where they got security cameras that they can show you where they're at, what they're doing. Put security cameras in your home so that someone decides to hit you. You got a recorded video of it. You can sue somebody. That's what you're gonna have to do. That's gonna be your life, and that could be a good life. It could be all right, because you have to remember, the older you get, the more of your body is going to break down. The more systems of your body will break down. It's just a matter of time. It's not a question if, it's when. Okay, you get to your 70s, your 80s, your 90s. Okay, life is great now, but life is also a measure of pain. And the older you get, the more pain you will feel because of the work we do and the strain you put on your body, especially if you're a big guy like me, and there are a lot of truck drivers that are. You have to realize that. So that's part of your retirement that you have to worry about is, what do you plan on doing? If you want to open up a little bar somewhere, or you want to do this, that, and the other, you got some plans. As long as you have a plan, God bless you. That's really what I'm trying to make sure that you understand, is that you need to have one, and you need to know your numbers on how much it's going to cost for you to retire. Anyway, let me get some fuel. I'll park for a minute here, eat my lunch and everything. Be good. Have a good weekend. It's Big Mac signing off.